So as I have now discovered, JD Vance does not like women. Okay, I'm not saying he's gay, but actually, it's now trending that apparently he wrote in his memoir that he convinced himself to be gay. But we're not even going to get into that right now because this is about women. This is about women today. And this man said that he thinks that parents should stay in violent marriages for the sake of their kids. JD Vance has gone from I guess he was reasonable at some point. I mean, he condemned Trump multiple times. He has now lost his mind. He's now upset about the fact that the sexual revolution convinced women that leaving abusive marriages was a good thing. So we're going to get into that.
This is one of the great tricks that I think the sexual revolution pulled on the American populace, which is this idea that, like, well, okay, these marriages were fundamentally, they were maybe even violent, but certainly they were unhappy. And so getting rid of them and making it easier for people to shift spouses like they change their underwear, that's going to make people happier in the long term. And maybe it worked out for the moms and dads, though I'm skeptical, but it really didn't work out for the kids of those marriages.
Yeah, you, the woman, no longer receiving UFC combos, all type of spinning elbows, spinning back fists, all type of front kicks. You no longer receiving that. It's debatable if you felt better or if it was better for your life. The concussions you could have received, were they actually that bad? Any slit open skin, any injuries, it's debatable if you no longer receiving those things was actually beneficial for your life. Who's to actually say? Your kids no longer witnessing you receiving like real combos. Who's to say that them no longer witnessing that was really better for them, Who's to say? Here's the truth about Republicans and this no-fault divorce or that bullshit. These are men who have let themselves go. They don't go to the gym. They don't take care of themselves. So because they can't get any new, woman, they want to keep their, new, punching bag, that they've, I guess, purchased now. They want to keep their punching bag. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep beating on their wife, and she can't leave because these dudes can't get laid otherwise. It's not easy for a guy to get laid out here. I'm just telling y'all women. I don't know, y'all be thinking every dude out here is a player. No. It's hard for the average guy to get laid. Instead of just saying, you know what, honey, I'm done beating you up. It's really just the wrong thing to do. I'm a follower of God. I'm a good man. No more UFC combos. Instead, what we get is actually, instead of just not beating you up, I'm going to write into law that you can't leave. These are people that call themselves Christians. Y'all can't, bro, just don't elbow your wife. Just don't do that. Okay? Now, if she attacks you, you got to do what you got to do. But, come on. This idea that, staying in an abusive relationship is tradition is so, it just reeks of, if you leave, I can't get laid anymore or reproduce anymore, so you need to stay. That's all this is about. It's not about family. No actual honorable man in his right mind would actually think that brutalizing his wife in front of his kids is family and tradition and honor and integrity. Stop. Okay, let me not say who actually believes this, because we've seen red pillars propagate this nonsense for 2 years straight now. JD Vance saying this is just not a good look. Come on. Who says this? Who says this? Men, the thing is, men, y'all know it in your heart of hearts. Men who advocate for this, in your heart of hearts, you're not being a good father or a good husband. You're not being a good father or a good husband by, beating up your wife or verbally abusing your wife and demanding that she stays. Let me tell y'all something about family that you don't understand, apparently. You do realize that, when you, abuse your wife in front of your kids and stuff like that, because, obviously, eventually, usually what happens, it's trickle-down economics. The beat-downs trickle down from the wife down to the kids, usually, eventually. It almost always happens. After you're done, beating up your wife and kids, the rest of society has to put up with your broken home now? Someone's gonna date your abused daughter, someone's gonna date your abused son, and the rest of the world is gonna have to deal with your abused wife. After their psyches have been broken by your fuckery, now we have to put up with, someone has to marry your daughter who's used to abuse and chaos. And you know how that goes, dealing with a spouse who's only ever known abuse. It's almost like they just need to see it to feel like they're actually in a functioning relationship. So as you're poisoning your own home, you're actively poisoning future homes. And none of this matters because you need to keep getting laid and keep having offspring. Instead of just not being abusive. not beating up your wife. Tough one to understand, I know, right? Big one, revolutionary. Any man who advocates for this is just self-snitching. You know, the sexual revolution, you could have all the critiques you could have made about the sexual revolution. Okay, sexual health, babies out of wedlock when people aren't ready. But abuse in relationships, that should never be a complaint someone makes about the sexual revolution. Come on. You're complaining about women packing their bags and leaving an abusive relationship? Gee, in no circumstance does this sound Christ-like. Jesus, as far as I know, did not give any women uppercuts and spinning back kicks and, you know, I'm just saying. I don't recall that ever happening. It's crazy how conservatives talk about God, God, God. Y'all don't like the poor, even though Jesus was very much pro-poor. He said, give up all your belongings and follow me. Y'all don't like people who are weak. God, even though Jesus said, blessed are the meek, you know, for they shall inherit the earth and all of that. Y'all don't listen to anything this man ever said. I don't know how many Bible copies had to be printed before y'all actually start to get it. Do people have to just start throwing them at y'all with the pages like taped open for y'all to be like, oh, he did say that. What is it going to take? I'm so curious. Like, Christ could tell y'all does he have to come down here and say something before y'all are like, oh, you did write that? Y'all are so fake, bro. Like, it's not even like, it's like, come on, bro. Really? Is it anywhere in the, like, bro, y'all can't be seriously calling yourselves followers of Christ. There's no way it's of Christ to force a woman to be in an abusive relationship. I saw on Tim Pool's podcast some women, plural, talking about how emotional abuse is not a reason to leave a relationship. Y'all do know that people can gain mental illnesses. It's not just something you're born with. You can gain one. It can happen. When you're being abused in a relationship, it can create mental illness. And these things can become genetic, especially if it just keeps repeating each generation. Even just one generation is enough. Y'all are poisoning future. Y'all wonder where generational curses come from? This is it. Y'all talk about God, 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 and generational curses. Y'all be thinking it's demons and Satan and all these like beings like crawling in. No, it's you. The generational curse is you. All these ass whoopings you're giving to the family and all these verbal lashings and psychological mind games and gaslighting, all of that you're doing, it's creating generational cycles. So when you're long gone, your kids and grandkids and great-grandkids are struggling with crazy mental health issues, abuse in the home because of you. That's where the generational curses come from. From members of the family just wilding and giving no fucks because I'm the man of the household. I can say whatever. I can do whatever. It's just the truth. It's just true. What do you want me to say? Like, let's move on, okay? I'm done talking about UFC combos. So this guy also said he would like for abortion to be illegal national. He deleted it from his website. He's doing, cleanup. He's doing cleanup now. JD Vance said in 2022 he would like to make abortion illegal nationally. Okay, he wildin'. So here we have him back when he was reasonable, and here we have him now that he's completely just drank every drop of Trump's you-know-what. So here we have it here. Former President Donald Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, said 2.5 years ago he was open to a national abortion ban. A stark contrast to comments he made this week where the Ohio senator said he adhered to Trump's view that abortion should be a state issue. Remember I told y'all, don't vote for Trump because you can't trust him because the people around him are going to corrupt him into doing fuckery? Prime example. The people around, no matter how much Trump tries to toe the line, the people around him, he can't control. They will corrupt, he's already corrupt, but they will further corrupt what is already corrupt and tear up this nation. Vance argued in 2022 that people seeking abortions would travel from states where abortion is banned to states with liberal abortion laws, necessitating illiteracy, necessitating federal action. So this guy's just an asshole. I know I strip you of your right to dictate whether you have a child or not, or what kind of child you have in your state, But now I realize that you're kind of like traveling to other states to still dictate what happens in your own household and what happens to your own body. I don't like that. So what's going to happen is I'm going to make it to where you can't do this ever. This man said, I certainly would like I would like abortion to be illegal nationally, said, okay, let's just reread that. I certainly would like abortion to be illegal nationally, Vance said in January 2022 on a podcast when running for Senate. Now, Vance, why would you say that? J.D. Vance, okay, now I'm just rereading it again. During a podcast interview in January of 2022, then candidate J.D. Vance said he certainly would like abortion to be illegal nationally and was sympathetic to the view that a national ban was necessary to stop these women, tired of them, from traveling across state lines. Oh my God, how dare they do that to obtain an abortion? How do you, like, wake up and just want to take people's rights? Like, nigga, what the fuck, bro? Like, bro, how do you just wake up in the morning and just be like, how can I today strip as many people of their rights as humanly, legally possible? Interesting. The source is from the Very Fine People podcast. Like, why do they always pick these crazy titles? Y'all remember that time Vivek got told he wouldn't be, Ann Coulter wouldn't vote for him because he's brown? He named that episode of the podcast the N-word, nationalism. Why do they always feel the need to name these podcasts and the episodes of the podcast something disrespectful? And then bullshit always happens right after. That'd be God. On Monday, the Ohio senator said he adhered to Trump's view that abortion was a state issue, though in practice that means abortion can be banned in one state and entirely protected in another. See, this is a civil war all over again. We want states' rights to own slaves, but the other states can't allow my slaves to escape there, so I want those states to forcefully return them slaves to me. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people. It's never good enough. It's like, okay, you're allowed to own people. That's crazy in and of itself, but if your slaves are fast enough and can make it over to the other side, your slaves are gone, okay? The white people over there, they're not in favor of slavery. They don't really care. You got to give it up, okay? You got to be faster than your slaves. The Confederacy, well, at that time, the southern states were tired of that. They're like, bro, come on, bro. Like, we just want states' rights to own slaves, and we also want you to force them to come back to us. Y'all can't do that? The same shit here. We want the states to be able to ban abortion, but we also want the states who don't give a fuck about abortion to also not be able. It's like, why are y'all such haters? Y'all are about to schism the country. We're about to be a nation of just blue state, blue state, blue state, red state, like chaos. Why y'all, like, what the fuck? Like, all right, okay. My view is that Donald Trump is the leader of the Republican Party, and his views on abortion are going to be the views that dominate this party and drive this party forward. Stop fucking lying. Vance said to Fox News' Sean Hannity on Monday. He's still around? Alabama is going to make a different decision from California. That is a reasonable thing, and you don't believe that. And that's how I think we build some bridges and have some respect for one another. You don't have respect. You run it with Trump. You're running with an insurrectionist. Since the Supreme Court's 2022 Dobbs decision overturned the constitutional right to abortion, voters have consistently supported abortion rights in state measures, and the 2022 midterm election saw numerous anti-abortion Republicans defeated. Damn right. Many Republicans, including Vance, have shifted or moderated their abortion positions, aka lying, to align with the current political climate, where anti-abortion rhetoric and policies are seen as increasingly toxic and detrimental to election success. Y'all knew this, though. Trump just had to install justices who ain't shit. You just had to do that. Y'all knew not to touch that. But you just couldn't help yourself, okay? After Ohio voters approved a constitutional amendment to protect abortion rights in 2023, effectively repealing the state's 6-week ban, the 6-week is so conniving. Like, you can get an abortion if you can figure out you're pregnant in time. Trifling, bro. Like, Vance critiqued the Republican Party's messaging on abortion. We have to recognize how much voters mistrust us, meaning elected Republicans, on this issue. Yeah, because y'all be lying. I don't care what Vance says. Literally, he could swear to God, I don't care. Vance's office pointed CNN to past statements on abortion from Vance as a senator, including one from CNN last December where he said, "We have to accept that people do not want blanket abortion bans." He also expressed support for exceptions in the case of the life of the mother for rape, and so forth. Y'all believe these people? I don't. These are the same people who these are the same people who are about to bring about an administration filled with people from Project 2025. If you believe for 1 second that these people won't act the fool the moment they're given power, you're wrong. They're just lying. Lying. Vance once supported a national minimum standard for abortion restrictions and signaled support for a 15-week federal abortion ban to CNN before determining there was no appetite for it in the current climate. So you're trying to do bullshit, you're just realizing it's not working. So you're the kind of motherfucker shoving a circle through a square hole, and it's only until you split your wrist trying to shove it in there, pause, that you realize it's not working. Yet in January 2022, Vance argued that while lawmakers couldn't ban abortion in the current climate, he was sympathetic to the view that a national ban was necessary. Vance proposed a hypothetical scenario where if Roe v. Wade was overturned and Ohio banned abortion by 2024, liberal megadonor and philanthropist George Soros, a popular boogeyman in conservative circles, might then facilitate abortions for disproportionately black women by flying them to California. There they go, using the race tactic. As if these people wouldn't try to get an abortion for their daughters if they got pregnant by a black man. Come on. Like, we know how this, like, stop playing. Stop pretending. As if y'all wouldn't try to get an abortion if you got your mistresses pregnant. Stop acting like abortion is only a black women thing. Sure, black women do, have a disproportionate amount of abortions. We're not going to deny that. But let's not pretend like there aren't scenarios in which you conservatives would be rushing to get one. I'm sympathetic to the view that, like, okay, look, here's a situation. Let's just say Wade is overruled. Ohio bans abortion in 2022, or let's say 2024. And then, every day George Soros sends a 747 to Columbus to load up disproportionately black women to get them, how dare he give people their rights, to get them to go have abortions in California. And of course, the left will celebrate this as a victory for diversity. That's kind of creepy. Like, bro, reality is, like, trying to block people from being able to access their right to an abortion and acting like you're the hero is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's crazy. Like, JD Vance has to realize the lying has to stop. In the name, like Kanye West said, in Jesus' name, who's y'all believe in, right? No more cap. Like, stop lying, please. Stop lying. I don't believe JD Vance for 1 second when he says that he's looking at the temperature of the country and the climate on abortion and all that. No, you aren't. Y'all are literally trying to cleanse the entire federal government of people who don't support Trump, and the entire Supreme Court is stacked with corrupt traitors to the United States of America. You're literally you're literally the vice president to an insurrectionist traitor. If you think for 1 second that I believe that you have changed your mind on abortion, you're crazy. No one believes you. You are a liar. Liar. This man has beef with women's rights, and the reality of the situation is this man has now aligned himself with an insurrectionist. This is an individual, and what's crazy is, like, JD Vance, you are feeding a monster you can't control. They just got the far right Republicans just got done complaining about the fact that your wife had the audacity to be brown. You really need to figure out what your priorities are, because this movement ain't for you. You may be white, but that don't even mean shit anymore. You're married to a brown woman. You have kids with her. They're angry at you for having the audacity to fall in love with who you choose to. You think that if you overrule abortion, that gay rights ain't next? Clarence Thomas is talking about that. If you think gay marriage isn't next, it probably will be, and you might support that. And once that's done, what are you going to do about interracial marriage? I'm curious. What are you going to say then? What's the infighting going to be then? You're supporting a monster you can't control. You know this, but you're prioritizing immediate gain over long-term stability. You all are destroying this country. And I pray to God the United States survives Donald Trump and Vance. I pray. I pray we survive this. I pray we vote for Joe Biden. I pray we defeat these people in November. I pray that we keep Republicans out of office for the next as many decades as possible as necessary until they chill out, cleanse themselves of this insanity, and move forward. But JD Vance is not really like a big fan of like women's rights and all that other shit. Like, it's kind of inconvenient. If y'all women could just stop having rights, that'd be great for JD Vance. So just figure that one out. I don't know how y'all are gonna do that one. I don't know how you're gonna plan that one, but figure it out soon.